Hello, I am porting an old iPhone game of mine to Game Boy. You can see a Playdate version of the game on the lower right-hand corner. It's a gem pushing puzzle game. And in the lower left corner, we have where I got to after the last stream, where I've loaded the terrain maps. In this stream, what I want to do is to get the map objects like the gems and the exits drawn and loaded. This stream is going to have a little bit of assembly at the beginning, and then I think a good amount of art, and then a chunk of assembly at the end. I'm thinking that the art will be most of the stream, but assembly has a way of taking a very long time. So we'll see. That assembly at the end might end up dominating the stream. Let me just do a little bit more setup here, isn't there? Yeah, that. I want to click that button. Okay. Okay. So let's cut to the main stream here. So I did a little bit of work. Between streams. I think I might try to do some of the more boring assembly programming between streams so that I can do somewhat more visual work during stream. Art, level design, and like gameplay coding that I could do a lot of iteration cycles involving testing in the Game Boy, just so the stream can be a little bit more engaging. What I tried to do between streams was to start to support loading multiple maps. Let me tab over here, was to start supporting loading multiple maps. So I've got a second map defined here, and in ROM data, I'm defining a list of maps. And I started to get, previously the map loader was hard-coded to only load the map at this address, and I started to parameterize it so that the map system has a variable for the selected map index. And when you ask it to load a map, it will look at that map index and then load the corresponding map here. So right now I have it set to map 0, and so it loads map 0, which is what we loaded last stream. And to load the new map, I can change this to a 1, and it'll load another map. And what I want to do for a little bit of assembly, oh hey man, what I want to do for assembly at the beginning of the stream is allow myself to use the D-pad to move left and right in order to load between different maps. I got about halfway done with this. I wanted to get the D-pad thing done last night, but instead I ended up playing an awful lot of Rocket League. So I only got about halfway through this task. So I'm gonna finish that up, and then we're going to get to the art phase of this stream, where I want to make the tile set a little bit prettier. I want to change, right now I've got these, the top of the walls are black. I want to make them dark gray. And then you can see the top and left edges of the walls are dark gray. I want to make those black. And I think that will look a little bit better. It'll be a little bit better with like how light works. And then also I want to add Game Boy Color support, and I kind of want the dark areas here to be a dark terrain color instead of black. Then I'm going to draw the map tiles. I'm going to load up gems and exits and a little bit of portals and buttons and switches and walls and things like that. Then I want to do some assembly programming to load those object tiles. And that's the game plan here. So let's start with the assembly code to let me do the D-pad to select a different map. So I've already got this function set up here called map select, which I run after all my graphics code. Right now it's going to be essentially the entirety of the game loop code. So what I want to do is if if selected map index is not equal to 0, load previous, and we pressed left this frame, load previous map, and then if selected map index is not equal to, let's see here, I've got map count -1, -1, we pressed right this frame, we press right this frame, load next map. And map count, I think I actually have to include, yeah. Include maps.inc, so I'm going to be able to see the symbol. So load a selected map index, compare 0. I think there's a faster way to do that, but it's or 0, isn't it? Or 0. Right? 2 cycles for that? 2 cycles for that. All right, whatever. Compare to 0. Could create load previous and load previous. I have here load next. Okay. All right, so we're comparing to 0. So if it is 0, it's going to set the 0 flag, right? If it equals 0, it'll set the 0 flag. So jump relative, not 0. I think that's what I want. Selected map index is not equal to... load a select map index and then compare to 0. So it's going to be 0 minus 0. If those are equal, then it's going to set the 0 flag, in which case we want to load previous. Otherwise, it'll set the not 0 flag, in which case we want to jump to end load previous. So that's exactly what we're going to want there. And here we're going to want to do the opposite. We're going to compare this to map count -1. If it's not 0, then we want to load next. Right? Okay. Oh, there's another condition that we want here, which is going to be, all right, so I call input update, right? Yeah, okay, and in my input system, I call the, I'm going to also need to include input.inc. Hello, Hactics, welcome. Include input.inc. Oh, yeah. Yeah, input, what did I name this? Oh, it'll be an input.asm on it. Input pressed, input just pressed. I want input just pressed. And then I want to do bitwise and with f, no, what is it? Left, f input left. Yeah, it's the flag version. All right, load a input just, and then if that is 0, then we haven't pressed left, and so we're gonna jump to and load previous. Here it's gonna be the same thing except right. Okay. So if index is not equal to 0 and we press left, let me check this logic again. We're loading the just press buttons into A. We're doing a bitwise AND against the bit for the left D-pad input. If we have pressed left, that will be not 0. And if we have not pressed left this frame, it will be 0. So we want to there. Oh, I've got the labels wrong here. Okay, and then down here, we compare map count -1. We load input just pressed, and if the right D-pad, if that is 0, then we unload next. Okay. So next, all right, so next I'm going to call busy wait to vblank. I probably don't know, well, I know right now I don't need to do this because all the code that I'm running before vblank is so brief. I think this is brief enough. All of it is so brief that I should still be in vblank, but just for safety's sake, what I'm about to do is I'm going to turn off the LCD, and you have to be in vblank in order to do that. And I'm probably in vblank once I reach this place, but just to be totally 100% safe, I'm going to call this call just thinking there's a way that I could avoid some code duplication. I'm going to ignore it for now. I might polish up later. Call busy wait vblank, and then to turn off the LCD. Yeah, I mean, okay. And then we're going to enable the LCD after we've loaded the map. Because loading the map right to the tile map, it impacts graphical memory. You can only safely write to graphical memory when either you're in a blank period or the LCD is off. And it's easiest just to turn the LCD off. So that's what I'm doing. Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, LCD. Oh, yeah. I'm going to do it this way instead here. Load HL. Just so I don't have to copy everywhere the flags I want for this game. So it's going to be set. All right. Okay. Next, we're going to decrement its selected map index. And then we're going to load it back. And then we just load the map. Should everything that I need there. Now this is the code that I'm about to duplicate, which I could definitely avoid. I'm gonna put that there. All right. Which I might do, but this isn't that much code to be duplicating. All right, so I think that'll do it. So let's see. No, that did not do it. Whoa. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm not able to press right. I can press left, which then causes it to load. That's not a map. It has successfully loaded something that's not a map. All right, so what's going wrong here? Selected map index should initially be set to 0. Call map build. All right, so for previous, probably got some of my 0 flags wrong or something. Oh, Well, part of it is I need to return after this is done. Actually, shouldn't really make a difference, but yeah. Jump relative to end load next. Okay, that really shouldn't make a difference, but all right, so what's going wrong with the logic here? We load selected map index, compare it to 0. Is this logic wrong? End load previous, load previous, end load previous. Okay, so what the logic should be right now is if selected map index is not equal to 0, and we press left this frame, then load the previous map. After that, if selected map index is not equal to map count minus 1, and we pressed right this frame, then load the next map. But somewhere in here we have a bug. Now, I don't think it's going to be a bug in selected map index with map build, because I know here, like, it's loading map 0 initially correctly. And then if I change this to 1, it correctly loads the next map. Hey, that's interesting. Okay, so I just loaded map 1, hard-coded. I press right, and it again loads the completely wrong map. And then here, if I press left, nothing happens. So I think that's telling me I'm like branching on a Z when it should be an NZ or vice versa. So let's see here. So I'm guessing this is wrong. All right, so let's see here. Load the value of selected map index. So right now I set it back to 0. Right. Yeah. Okay, so I set select map index back to 0. I'm loading 0 into A, and then I'm comparing it to 0. So 0 minus 0 will produce... Yeah. Okay, so it does need to be 0. This is when to branch, not when not to branch. So if it is 0, then they're equal. So we should go to end load previous, and then down here, again, 0. If selected map index equals map count minus 1, then go to end load next. Okay. So that was the problem there. That's not too bad. There we go. All right, I can't press left here, and I can't press right here. Okay, there we go. It works. I can load 2 different maps now. And it looks like my map loading logic doesn't take too much time. So that's good. All right. Do I want to polish this up? No, I kind of want to ignore this and move on. Yeah, I'm going to ignore it and move on. Like, I can clean it up. So the thing that I could do is I could extract this to somewhere else, and then these 3 steps: disable the LCD, load the map, and then enable the LCD again. I could put that in a separate block and then return from it. And then with both load next and load previous, it would do the unique bit of work and then jump to the shared code block, and then it would return from that. It wouldn't take that long, but I'm not going to do it. I might do it later, but for now, this works. It's good enough. It's not that much code duplication, so I'm just going to move on to the next task. So that's done. Next, I want to make the terrain tiles even prettier. So it's time for some art. So like I mentioned that, so what am I going to do here? How am I going to do? Yeah, I think I'm just going to start by just doing that. Actually, I could. There. I want to preserve an outline around these tile edges. And so I don't want to just do a bucket fill on all the black parts of the map. Let's just see how that's starting to come out. That did nothing because I have to actually build the game. Yeah. All right. It's not going to look great until it's done. I also want to so I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I want to make these the black areas dark gray and the dark gray areas black, and then I also want to use some additional shades of gray in the flat shaded areas right now to add a little bit extra detail and texturing. Maybe anti-alias the line art a bit. We'll see. So that should be it for the top of the surface. Okay. Doesn't look great right now because I still need to go in here and make this black. And I guess both of these black. Make all of this black and this black. This. 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 I think that's right. There we go. Yeah. I think I might want to add a dark gray line to the corners, to the lower right corners. Like that one, and that one. Wow, that got slow. Actually not caring for that so much. Ha ha ha. Well, let's try moving forward with the detailing that I want to do. Well, another thing I want to try, let's see what it looks like if I start doing this, introducing a darker shade of gray here. No, I don't think that's going to do what I want it to. Let's try just starting to add some of that anti-aliasing in there. Okay, that's starting to look better. Yeah, I don't really like what's going on with the top piece there, so let's move that over. Move that over. Yeah, I like that better. And now I just want to add some detailing. So if I did something like that. Add some cracks. Yeah. Yeah, now I'm starting to like where this is going. And then I wonder if this will look good. I just add a little bit of gray there. Maybe a hint of it there and there. Maybe get away with pixel there. Let's see. It's not making that much of a difference, but it's not really hurting it either. All right, now the bottom right edge, can I add some dark gray cracks breaking into it a little bit? Will that improve its look at all? Hmm. The overall amount of repetition might be a problem, but I have a solution for that. I don't think that's really helping. No, let's just let it stay black. What's going on with that corner there? That's weird. Okay. Um, yeah. Yeah, I think I'm liking that. All right, and then I'm going to add to the top surface, I think I'm going to add a few stray black pixels, the equivalent of these light gray pixels down here. So let's just add a bit of grain at the top. That doesn't look great at all. That's way too repetitive. I'm gonna remove that for now. I think I'm gonna add it back in later, because there's something else I want to do in the tile sets. I'm not gonna do that until later. I think I'm gonna leave it at that for now. Or actually, I want to change something about these right edges. It's a little bit too looking segmented right now to me. So I think I'm just gonna erase that crack entirely. Yeah, I think I can get away with some dark gray pixels here though. There and there. Maybe I can't. Or maybe I got that completely backwards. Maybe that will work. Probably not. No, I think what could work though is maybe that. Yeah, kinda. All right. I could keep tweaking all day. I think what I'm going to do next is start working on gems. So, Let's see here. Is this a good screenshot? Sure. Why not? Let's load this up. So one of the things I think I'm going to do, actually I could use the grid on here, is there's where I've gotten the Playdate version, what I've done in other versions is I actually have like 2 different terrain tile sets. And then what I do is for a given tile, I randomly select which of the tiles from the tile set, from the 2 tile sets to load, and that helps break up some of the repetition. The grain pattern here also looks a little bit more like noise and less like a single repeating pattern because of that. I think I'm going to end up doing that on the Game Boy version as well, so long as I can find the tile memory budget to do it. But I'm going to do that later. For now, I'm just going to leave it. Ooh, that does not look bad at all. For now, I'm just going to leave it where it's at right now. I'm going to move on to start working on the gems, the gameplay tile art objects. So, go to agenda and call that done. So the first thing that I want to do now is uncover up my chat window. What I want to do is so right now I'm loading this, I have this tile set laid out as a 4x4 grid. I want to make it 16 wide because of the way that I'm going to end up writing the assembly logic to lay out gameplay tiles. I want to be able to draw them in this tile set as 2x2 blocks, and it's going to be easier for me. It's just going to be a more workable tile set if I change it to be 16 tiles wide. So I'm going to put that there. 32 times 4 is 128. I'm just going to move these over here. All right, I'm going to do a bucket fill there. And then what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to draw a little smiley face in the corner just to make sure that the build tool is going to correctly detect the extra tiles, build them, load them. So if I open up, show VRAM viewer, I load, we should still see 16 wide here. And yep, there's the little smiley face. Okay. And this is also partially why I wanted to do 16 tiles wide, so I'd see as many tiles in video memory as I see in the image editor. It'll make some of the layout logic easier on me. So let's go ahead and erase that. All right, let's do some budgeting. Let's scribble out this because this is where I'm going to want to put the alternative tile set. And let's make the canvas a bit taller. Just to give myself more room to work with. So for the Game Boy's tile memory, I have 128 tiles I can dedicate to background tiles. 128. Those are part of the background tiles. Oh yeah. It's because I think the boot ROM treats the, you can configure which regions are dedicated to maps, but this is going to be sprite tiles, and then the region in the middle is going to be shared between sprites and map tiles. I think what I'm going to want to put here is I'm just going to put a font in here. I'm going to put all the gameplay tiles down here and all the sprite tiles up here. So that's going to give me what, like 8 tiles tall? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's go ahead and I think I have that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so this is going to be my entire working tile sheet. So what I need to do is I need to fit all of my gameplay tiles in that sheet. And I think I'm going to have way more than enough room to pull that off, including allowing me to have like the variant tile set there. So let's just do some budgeting. So I'm gonna draw on a scribble of triangle shaped gem, and then this is wonderful art. And then what is this, an octagon? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, the octagon. And then the square. Suppose once I have the budgeting done, I could immediately go into the assembly code to load it. I might actually want to do that because it's always nicer to see your art in context in game. And once I've loaded the tiles, once I'm actually inserting the tiles into the tile set, I'll be able to see how they look when put into the maps, how they look against the walls, things like that. I need the staircase down. Why not? I'll just go ahead and make that one fully pretty right now. This is a pretty easy tile to get, right? To get exactly how I want it to look. See, we want 4 steps. 1, 2. So is it going to be 3 and then a line? 1, 2, 3 line, 1, 2, 3, and then a line. 3 and then a line, and then that will be 2. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that works. This one I think is going to end up being completely black. All right, so white, light gray, dark gray, and black. It's a little bit more dramatic, like a little bit steeper for decline. There we go. Let's add a bit of anti-aliasing to those lines. Yeah, I don't think I like that. Don't think I like that either. I think I might like this though. Not really. Okay. Ooh, but I could add these light gray corners over here though. That I think I'm gonna like. Okay, okay. Next, we're going to have 2 switch tiles. These are going to be background, and then doors can be background, and then I'm going to also need a portal. So let's do the lowered button, the raised button. Such good art, such good art. Okay. 3 states for the door. Sure, let's just do it as this. Yeah. Make all these prettier later. And then the 4 teleporter tiles. That will be the entire background map tile set, I think. So, just, all right. Let's just Draw this. Draw some little spokes. I mean, okay, even this, I can do a little bit better with this. Actually, I like to rotate them the other direction. Okay. Then it's 4 frames, right? 4, yeah. Da, 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 da. 90. 90. 90. Let's fill the interiors of them. Probably should have done that before all the rotations, but this will only take a moment. This should be all the gameplay tiles that I need, and I still got 32 tiles left over. I don't think I'm going to need them for anything, but, or well, more than 32. I've got 36 tiles left over. Yeah, all right. I think the budget's going to work out fine. Let's build, reload. Excellent. All right, yeah, so I think I want to do some assembly programming now. Oh, and just as a preview, some more of the work that I did off stream was I added, there's tiles that go up to 11, which in hex is 0B. And I just made sure that every single gameplay tile is represented in the 2 maps. Draw objects. I'm going to call this kind of done because I want to come back to it. Okay, so for the map, or let's see, I need to have some additional ROM data. Okay, what I need is I need the playdate code. Because I need to know which tile index is mapping to what. Map tile indices, empty, wall, exit, triangle, da 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 da. Okay. So that good, yeah. All right. Okay, so the first thing that I need, all right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a routine where I can pass it an X and Y gameplay tile coordinate. Yeah. And where I can pass it a gameplay tile index, and it will load the 2x2 grid. And this is going to be different from the terrain loading because the terrain loading has all the fancy logic to make the smooth walls out of this. This routine is just going to grab a 2x2 arrangement out of here, and I'm going to need to have a table in ROM that indicates what gameplay tile index maps to the upper left corner of which gameplay tile, and it will just load those 4 tiles directly into tile memory. And then what I'm going to have is I'm going to have a separate routine that can erase a gameplay tile, which will replace it with the ground tiles again. And I'm going to have a separate routine specifically for erasing tiles because the ground tiles are going to be involved in the little 2 different tile set thing. So the logic for erasing a ground tile is not going to be loading a 2x2 arrangement out of tile memory. Instead, the routine for erasing a gameplay tile is going to have to interact with the two ground tiles there eventually. For now, it's just going to take that one tile and it's going to load it into all 4 tile slots. So let's start by doing the erase routine because that's going to be easier. Map build, map erase tile. This is going to take, I know it's D for X and E for Y. I just want to see the syntax here. D equals map X, E equals map Y, returns nothing. Replaces the graphics tiles at gameplay map X, map Y with ground terrain tiles. And then a second function for map place tile, I guess works. D equals map X, E equals map Y. And then what should I store the index in? I think B is going to work fine. This doesn't return anything. Replaces the graphics tiles at gameplay map X, map Y with the object tiles for tile index. First thing that I'm going to do, test, erase a map tile. I'm going to erase the map tile at 1, 1, because right now, yeah, so this should do a good job of completely breaking the map, which is what I want. Load D1. Can I do that? Load D. Load D. And yeah, I can just do it. Then load E1 and then call map erase tile. Okay. So this is just going to be some quick test code to make sure that I can successfully erase a tile. All right, so given D and E, the first thing that I need to do is calculate a graphics map offset. So let's start by loading the BG0. I think it's BG0 that's doing this, right? Yeah. All right. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add it's going to plus equals map X times 2 because there's 2 graphics tiles for every gameplay tile. So I could just rotate it left. It's going to be 2 cycles. Bit shift left. Going to do the same thing, but it's a bit shift left. So I shouldn't have any problems with wraparounds. I could probably use either rotation or shift left, but I think shift left is a little bit more idiomatic to what I'm doing here. Now I'm gonna do something different. I'm gonna load it into A, and then in this one there's a faster routine to rotate it left, and then I'm going to do is add it to L, This is 250. This is 256 aligned. That's interesting. So I don't have to do a 16-bit add because I know for this routine, map x times 2, there's no way that's going to be 256, so there's no way that we're going to be overflowing from the initial addition. So I'm just going to add, which means all that I'm going to do is load it into L. It's 256 aligned. We can't. Load HL mem bg 0. HL plus equals map x times 2. So we're going to load map x into A. We're going to double it. And then we're just going to stick it into L. We know that that's safe at this point. All right, so then HL plus equals map y times 32. So at this point, I do need y times 32, and I think they can be, yeah, I can be way over 256 on this one. So this is going to have to be a 16-bit addition. It's going to have to be a full 16-bit addition. But the nice thing is that since I've already since I no longer have any use for D, I can just reuse DE as a 16-bit argument. So what I'm going to do is nice. I'm going to load 0 into D. So in order to multiply by 32, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a swap and a shift. The swap gets you a multiplication by 16 after you do a little bit of masking. And then the shift is an extra doubling. So, okay, so I'm going to swap E. Load that into A. And against, I want to get what's now the low bits, which represent the high bits of the overall. Load that into D. Then XOR against that against E, and then load EA. Okay. So actually, I don't need to do this part at all because I'm just going to clobber it completely. Mask out. The high bits. Okay, I want to be like mask out the. It's just a little confusing how to describe this because it's like I'm masking out the high bits in A, which represent the low bits of the original 8-bit number that are now starting. It's just a little confusing to describe. Mask out some bits. Store map. How about this? Store map y's high bits into D. XOR to put map-wise low bits into A, and then store map-wise low bits into E. Okay. So that's multiplied by 16. Then that's not what I'm going to do there. I'm going to do XOR E, and then I'm going to shift left into carry, or is it going to be rotate left into carry? I think it's going to be shift left into carry. It says carry to old bit 7. Yeah, this is going to be shift left into carry. Shift left. Okay, so double. Putting high bit into carry. So now we're going to load that into E. And then if we didn't carry, then we're going to jump to end map y32 carry. Or how about this? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, skip derotate through carry if we didn't carry. Just want to align these comments here. Or actually, I think I could actually do it blindly, right? Because it's rotate through carry. It says bit to carry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't need the condition at all. So rotate left D. It says bit 0 to carry. It says carry to the old bit 0. Okay. All right, so that sets DE to map Y times 32. Okay, so we swap, put into E, mask, store the high bit. Yep. Store the high bits of map Y into D, into the low bits of D. Then we're going to do an XOR. We're going to shift left, putting the high bit into carry. Store the final low bits, which are shifted left into E, and then going through carry, we're going to rotate the left. So that does that. Okay. And then finally, add HLDE. Okay. So we now have the starting address for the erase. Fortunately, this logic is going to be basically exactly the same when we're writing the gameplay tiles. This part of the logic is going to be the same. Okay, so we now have HL. Okay, so right, top, left. Okay. So let's see. Load dirt tile into A, which is, I think it's 15. Yeah. All right. Right dirt tile into four corners. Four tiles. So load HL increment A. Hmm. Load down to A. And so then the next thing I need to do is add 32. There's no chance that's going to be this nice. Oh, well, aren't you nice? Add HLDE. That should do that. All right, let's see here. Did I punch out 4 tiles? I did punch out 4 tiles. However, I punched out entirely the wrong 4 tiles. That's fascinating. And it's weird that it's staggered. I added 32, right? Like I am correctly loading dirt tiles, but I wanted to put, I think, these 4 tiles as dirt tiles. So I put the wrong dirt tiles in, and it offsets when it goes to the second row. So that's weird. Why is it doing that? Oh yeah, it needs to add 31. Because so if HL is kind of a cursor in the background map, we start it here. We have HL pointed right there. We load our dirt tile into A. So the first thing that we do is we put the dirt tile into HL, into the value at HL, which is this byte here. And then by doing HLI, we're incrementing I, so we're moving to the next cell. At which point we then write again, but we don't include the increment there, so we're just writing the dirt tile in there. And then what I was doing was I was adding 32. Well, adding 32 to this puts us right there. And then we do write HL with increment, put that, and then just another write HL into A, or write A into HL, which does that. So the 32 is incorrect. What I want to do is 31, because I want it to go to the next row, but the previous tile. So that's an easy fix. A little bit more complicated is why did it go to completely the wrong address here? Let's try. I have a suspicion that the bug is in here, so let's try getting rid of this. So what it should be is it should load right here. Yeah, okay. Then let's move that to 2. We should see it load right there. Yeah, okay. And the reason you're only seeing like these 2 tiles here is because I went into the reasoning behind this in a previous stream, but I've scrolled 8 pixels in, so you're only seeing half of those tiles there. All right, so now I want to scroll down correctly, and right now I'm adding entirely the wrong math. So what's the bug here? Swap E is our multiply by 16. We then put that into A, and that's going to be a bit of our working variable. We mask out. We're deleting the high bits because we're now working with D. Oh, this part's backwards. Okay. That, I think, is the bug. Let's just see now. Not quite. That was my Roomba. Not quite, not quite. It needs to be multiplication by 64, right. That's more annoying. Map y times 64. All right. Actually, this isn't going to be too bad. So we're just going to start with a multiply by 16. So we're E, and then put low bits into E. Swap low bits into E. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to do 2-bit shifts. So we're going to shift E left, setting carry to old bit 7. There. And that's my multiplication by 64. So we rotate left, setting the carry to the previous bit 7, and then we rotate through carry. Then we do the exact same thing there. So that should do it. Okay, so that's multiplication by 64. Let's move it 3. Should block out those 4 tiles. Okay. Okay. So the erasing routine, I think, works. Let's go another tile down. Yeah. And then just for good measure, one more tile down and then one tile right. So it should be these 4 right here. Okay. That routine's done. So test, 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 right map tile. All right, so let's pull up this code. Let's start by writing a triangle gem, which is 3. I think whoa. Let's load B3, load D. Where are we gonna stick it? Let's put it 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's do it in 5, 1. Let's stick the triangle gem right there. And I just had a thought. I want to export both of these because gameplay logic is going to be calling them later. All right, shouldn't do anything right now. I should go ahead and erase the call to erase map tile. I'm confident it works now. Assembly really does take longer than you might expect. So let's just steal all of this work here. So we're copying all this work over here to calculate to use the exact same offset calculation logic in map playstyle. I'm not using BC anywhere in here, so B is still safely the tile index. All right, so the next thing that I need is a ROM table that defines the for every gameplay tile index here. I need a table in ROM that indicates where in tile memory the top left corner of that gameplay tile is. So let's make that table. I'm gonna make a I'm gonna make a section for it. Map tile indices. And this is the first time to find that, right? Or let's say map tile index coordinates. Yeah, why not? Map tile index coordinates. DB. Okay, so the first two indices are handled by our special map building logic. So those are just going to, those values don't matter. Let's say they are empty, or this is ground, handled by other routines, and this is wall, handled by other routines. Okay, so next we've got, well, I'm just going to write 0, 0 here just to help me establish templates for this. Okay. Exit. Triangle gem. Diamond gem. Square gem. Pentagon gem. Star gem. Teleporter. Hero. Switch. And the barrier. That should be 11, right? Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, it's the highest index is 11, but there's 12 unique tiles, right? Yeah. Okay, so now we need to find their addresses in the tile map. So the exit is at 2A, because that's at 0, 0. Yeah. So the exit starts at 2A. The triangle gem starts at 2, 0. The diamond gem so I guess I called that one the diamond gem. Oops. The square gem. Yeah, so it's square, pentagon, star. Square, pentagon, star. So yeah, it's just going to be 2, 4, 2, 6, and 2, 8. Let's just check the star gem. 2, 8. Yep. Okay. Next is the teleporter, which starts at 4, 6. The hero is going to be handled elsewhere. I'm going to need some special logic to make sure I don't write that in as a gameplay tile. The switch is, looking at the wrong, I want the raised switch initially. Yeah. So it's going to be 2E. Then the barrier, which starts in the raised position, which is this one, is going to be 4, 0. Okay. So now I have this ROM table. And they're just a byte, so that's very easy to index into. Okay. In fact, I'm going to do the HL work. Okay, so I'm actually going to. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to load the gameplay tile first. What I'm going to do is replace tile index, which is a gameplay tile index right now, with the starting with the starting graphical tile index. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do HL equals map tile index coordinates. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to change this argument to C, because this is going to make it easier to do a 16-bit addition. So I'm going to go up here. I'm going to replace this with C. I'm going to put B into 0. Then I'm going to do add HLBC. So now HL is the address of the map tile index coordinate that we want. And so then we're just going to load. Can I just load that directly into C? Nah, I got to go through A. Oh, no, I can't I? Load CHL. Yeah, okay. Okay, so C equals index of first graphics tile. All right. And so now I'm going to do a very similar routine to this right here. Okay. Right tile into right object tile into forward graphics tile. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to load it into A. And then for giggles, I'm just going to, we should see the with the way it is right now, we should see the top left corners of this gem in all 4 squares here. Yep, okay. So next thing we're going to do is increment A, and then add 31. And then increment A. And that should do it. That did not do it. Right, because we're dealing, right. It's going to be 15 here, because we're dealing with tile memory, not the background map. There, we're loading the triangle gem there. Yeah, loading this into, okay. So we're gonna load object tile index into A. We'll increment map tile by 31 later. 31 later. value at plus plus equals a plus plus. All right, then the value at HL is a plus plus, and then finally the value at HL equals a. All right, and that's the routine to write a map tile. It wasn't too bad. That wasn't too bad. And let's just swap out some values to test. Let's move it to the right by 1 and down by 1. Why not? Well, yeah, let's just move it to the right by 1 to start. So it should be here. No. C is, that's not what the index is. C is loading the next gameplay tile. So, all right, so that works now. Which one is the exit tile? The exit tile was 0, 1, 2. So let's load that, the exit tile. And then let's move it to the right by 1, which is what D is. So the exit should be to the right. Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good looking tile. Then let's shift it down by 1. Excellent. Okay, that works. So I'm happy with 2 different routines now. I can erase a map tile and I can place a map tile. Those are 2 core routines. Those routines are going to be called at gameplay, so both of those routines are public. In the initial map load, now what I need to do is take a pass over all of the map data, and anywhere where there's an object tile, or a gameplay object tile, I need to call that map place tile at that coordinate to place the initial objects. And then that's going to be it for assembly for this stream. And that shouldn't be too bad. So I think we're going to want the routine. Yeah. Function place initial object tiles. Not going to take any arguments. It's not going to return anything. It's really what all in the function name, isn't it? Places the initial gameplay object tiles into the tile map. Okay. So the way this works is it's another loop over the entire gameplay map. So okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the gameplay tiles one by one. I'm going to dereference whatever is in it would be a little annoying to dereference. Okay. So the thing that I'm thinking is that it's like I only want to call this routine. Well, that's an alternative. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. The idea is the map data here doesn't describe when we're dealing with terrain tiles versus gameplay tiles, whether it's a special tile or a standard object tile. It's all just a bunch of numbers. And the idea is that on these three indexes, it's handled by other routines, and I don't want to be placing an object tile if I encounter any of those. I think the easiest way for me to handle that will actually be in map place tile. Yeah, because I can actually bail really early on. C equals the index. Okay, so the idea is at that line, we have loaded one of these into C. And if that equals 0, then we can just return from the routine. So that won't be too bad. So load C into A, and then OR it against itself, and then return if it's 0. If index of first graphics tile is 0, we have a special tile that doesn't get written by this routine, so return. And that is correct, right? Load C into A, or it against itself, and then if it's 0, we need to return. Yeah, that is correct. Okay. The thing I'm just thinking about is that I'm probably going to want to call this routine during v blank later, so I'm just kind of thinking a little bit about the performance of it. Okay, and so because this now exists here, the nice thing is that I can take a pass over the gameplay map, and on literally every single gameplay tile, I can just call this function blindly. So work. All right, so now it's the thing about incrementing map X and map Y, and here. Okay. So map X plus plus, loop if it's not equal to it, X 0, Y plus plus, loop if map Y is not equal to height. So once it is equal to height, then the entire thing is done. And we can return. So that's all the loop logic. Do I have end fill with yeah, I got rid of the end loop. Okay, so just for giggles, this should not deadlock, so let's make sure of that. Okay. So now we have map X and we have map Y. We now just need to that's annoying. We need to load the tile at that index. We need to load the gameplay tile at that index. That's an annoying bit of math. Well, but which I've written before, so should be able to just copy and paste that. Oh, right. Sure. Sure. Yeah, okay, this won't be too bad. Populate graphics tiles. Place initial objects tiles. So this is going to happen outside of the loop. So we're going to start with HL being the address of the gameplay map. And then it's just going to be a simple increment of HL every single time, right? So it's going to be load A, HL, I. And then that's going to get loaded into a C. And then we're going to call but we need to preserve a whole bunch of registers here. We don't need A. We don't need BC because we're just going to repopulate that from scratch. We do need DE because that's our map X, map Y, and we do need HL because that's where we're storing the gameplay map address. That should be it for the routine, right? Yeah, nice. Okay, let's document this a bit. All right. C equals gameplay tile index and I have map X, map Y, gameplay tile index. So it's a tile. All right. If I go here, I should also see a whole bunch, and then yeah, this is the hero on the top left corner there, right? Okay. So if I look at map 1, I've got 2 deliberately empty tiles on the right there, so that's correct there. And then the top left corner should be the index of the hero tile, which is 9. Is it 9? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, okay, cool. I could check each of these tiles bit by bit to make sure that the mapping is what I thought it was, but I'm going to just take it on faith that I got it right now, and I'm going to go back to art because that checking is just going to be tedious. So I'll do it off of the stream. For right now, I'm just going to start making these tiles prettier. And then that'll do it for this stream, I think. So I'm going to call that done. And let's finish up this stream by making these graphical tiles prettier. Whew, that's not too much assembly for this session, so that's not so bad. Let's how do I get a guide in here again? Oh, wait. How do I get a guide in here? There's an advanced, yeah, here it is. That's not what I wanted. That's too advanced. There's something for extra controls, right? Symmetry options, that's what it is. Okay, there. There we go. And I think what I usually did on these is I leave a little bit of a gap. So I'm actually probably going to shrink this a little bit later, but I like to leave a little bit of a gap around the edges so that the tiles aren't all like flush against each other. Do I want to do 2 pixels? Let's see how it looks. It's going to go all the way to the edge there, right? Yeah, yeah. Nice. Need to build it. Don't need you anymore. That might actually be too small on the Game Boy. Could also make it asymmetrical so it just has one pixel on like the bottom or right edge. It would make the symmetry annoying, but let's try that. Man, but it all lined up so nicely. Let's try that. Let's turn off the symmetry for now. Grab that, drag it to the left one. Yeah, I think that's going to look better. Let's go into the... Let's... Oh. Whoops. Let's add that white pixel there. Let's move this up by one. And all this to the left by one. Yeah, okay. Next gem. The diamond gem. That deleted everything. There. Horizontal symmetry just a bit there. Vertical symmetry right there. Whoops. Excellent. Excellent. Okay. Let's try that a little bit. Pretty good to me. Might want to. In fact, yeah, let's do that. Let's pull these in by one. That's better. That's better. Okay. Yeah. This is looking pretty good. I think I'm going to draw the gems and then wrap up the stream and then continue the art in the next session because we're getting close to 2 hours now. All right, so next is the square gem. Yeah, yeah, this is a pretty straightforward gem. Oops. That looks good that way. It's looking more and more like a real game. All right, so I think 2 more gems. So the pentagon gem. Which is going to have horizontal symmetry, but not vertical symmetry. Oops. That star gem is going to be a pain. Okay. Let's fire this out all the way to here. Oops. Don't quite like that. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's do that. That's a good pentagon. All right. Hmm. Hmm. Can I get away with that? Yeah. Yeah, that's working. Maybe not quite that. Eh. Oh. Hmm. Hmm. Wow, there's no making me happy on this one. Yeah, that one will do. Finally, the star gem. Which is again going to have vertical but not horizontal symmetry. Let's try putting it right there. And then let's just try starting right there. The star gem has never been fun to draw on any platform I've ported this game to. It's just near impossible to get happy with it. That's worse. That's maybe passable. Okay, and then there's also this interior part to it, which is might be able to rescue this gem with shading. Yeah, that just looks terrible. All right, so let's do some shading. So one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to try to, I am planning to support Game Boy Color on this, but I'm going to support both Game Boy and Game Boy Color. On Game Boy Color, these gems are going to be colored, which will make it easy to tell them apart. But on Game Boy, I have to rely on shading. Oh, the symmetry. So I'm going to have an overall color on these. I want light. So I want light, light, and then this one's going to be dark, and then the other two are going to be light. Then here, I'm going to have that. And it's going to be filled like that. Mm. I guess. Yeah, this angle could really go either way. Let's try this. Okay, so 2 white gems. It's really going to take some work to save that star gem. 2 light gems, 2 medium gems, and 2 dark gems. Then what I'm going to do is add a little bit of anti-aliasing in the corners here. That really doesn't look great. What if I tried the interior corners? That looks interesting. And interesting is good. Put the dark corners here. Mm. That doesn't look so good. I might be okay with that. Yeah. Can I do something weird like, nah. This maybe doesn't actually work that well. But kind of dig it. Yeah, I think that'll work. I wonder if I could get away with like a strange diagonal line through here, like a bit of a sheen. kind of look like? Or is that just too noisy? That might just be too noisy. All right, well, it was worth trying. Okay, white gem. How am I gonna solve this problem? I think I can make this entire leg here darker. Then I can maybe like draw some segments here. Yeah, that's kind of working. Doesn't work yet, but it's, I think that did it. Then draw some darker interior edges here somewhere maybe. Wonder if I could heavily emphasize some sort of anti-aliasing. Yeah, I mean, there's something close to something workable going on here now. I mean, looking at context in Game Boy, I mean, maybe sharpen this corner up a bit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, for now it looks passable. All right, I think that's probably going to about do it for this stream. I mean, it would take such a small amount of time to just make it just a little bit better. The teleporter will take me a lot longer to draw. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start wrapping it up here. Gonna draw object house kind of even more done. All right. Yeah, I think this is a good spot to wrap it up. All right, so in this stream, we added the ability to use the D-pad to load different maps. We polished up the background map some more. We started drawing object tiles. We added the logic to load them into the map, and then we made the object tiles even prettier. So I think I'm going to call that a stream. So I think next stream I'm going to continue with more of the art, and I think I'm going to add the ability to load the alternative terrain tile set so that I can get some more variation on the background going on. I think that'll make it look even better, and I think what I also want to do is add Game Boy Color support. Next, I want to start loading color palettes on Game Boy Color. So I think that's going to do it. So Uh, so thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.